Okay, okay, okay. We should be good. We should be good. Yeah, this will be fine. Alright. Okay. Howdy, Xavier. A lot of pollen in the air, huh? Or leaves, I guess I should say. Let's see. Oh, sorry, buddy. Yo. Nope, it's not here. Oh, sorry. Ooh. Nothing here. Okay. We can move on now. Should just be the forts. Alright, let's check Gale then. Gale! Alrighty. Do I even need to do this? I think the stuff's already loaded, but you know, we'll just in case. No, I'm not seeing it. Granted, it could just be because it's dark as hell. Like, seriously, how do they expect you to get up here? No? No, that ain't it. What's the agenda? I wanted to check out some stuff. Let me actually show you. Because we were looking at Guardian's Garrison the other day. Was that yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I noticed something that stuck out to me. So you don't have any of the Erd Tree stuff for here, which isn't that crazy because these are a little bit unconventional as far as the entrances with the gates are concerned. So that I'm not as, you know, concerned about, right? But what has me raising an eyebrow... Is any of it down here? No, see, so you got your Banished Knight weapons, right? Like, you got some of the BK stuff. But then, you have some of this. With rapiers and shields of a mix, and axes and anvils, and smithing hammers. I'm just like, huh. And they all have it so it's covered in snow and stuff, right? So, you know, they went the extra mile. So I'm curious if this exists anywhere else. See? Regular BK stuff. Nothing out of the ordinary here. They just copy-paste those assets from Stormveil. Even got the Godwin spots that they're not supposed to have. But these here... Yeah, and over here... These are also included. What's up? How's it going today? Hey, Clump Baby. It's going okay. Like, I'm really tired tonight. Tonight's a little exhausting. Yeah, as I mentioned a few days ago that, like, we would be getting closer to our normal schedule. While that is true for streams and stuff, my schedule's still a bit off kilter for me, and it is a little tiring, right? You know, I'm doing okay personally, but like I said, it's just exhausting. I guess I'm just supposed to warp out of here, really, game? Or have you just killed me? That's some of the more generic assets that you can find at the top of the gate at Gatefront Ruins and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna be going there then to find it. Because you say that, Xavier, but I can't find it at other forts, at least so far. We're gonna check more forts now, so. We're gonna see if it's just an asset that they're just like, you know, picky choosy on when they're gonna use it or not. Because obviously they had to make it unique by adding the snow and stuff here. Oh, you know, we should go to Castle Sol. That'd be a really good example. I don't think it'll... Oh, no. No, I wasn't crazy. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not getting out over there. There we go. I just get so scared with my platforming stuff that sometimes the easy jumps I'm like, Also, who the frick is raising this big boy? He is huge! Giant doggo. I see you like them big. That's why you took a post here, huh, girl? I think it said some of the siege engine at the gate. Okay, let's see. This is why I like having you guys help inform me. Hey, let's go to Castle Sol first. Are you playing at 2 times speed, or you just increase the frame rate? Oh no, this is times 5 speed. This is 500% speed. Yeah, that's what my camera mod lets me do. So not only can I turn off AI, so I can, you know, not have to deal with all the aggro bullshit. I can also go 10 times faster, so we're not wasting time trying to get through an area quickly. I'm not seeing it. Yep. It's just normal BK stuff so far. I feel like it's one of those assets that they don't use, like, just once. I could be wrong. I feel like it's one of those things where if they're going to use it, they're going to use it a few times in an area, so we should have seen it by now. But just to be exhaustive. Nope, that's just BK stuff. Okay, sure, fine. The Eclipse Hotel. I wonder what decides what's like a super big major item thing like that. You know? Crossbow. We got the axe here. What's with the crossbow setup, so I'm not sure if that counts. Yeah, it's not there with like the smithing hammers and stuff. Oh. Nope, okay. Oh, Typeside G's best of luck on parkour second level. Yeah, I know. It's always the worst when that happens. That's why we have to turn it off. Oh, no, still more crossbows and stuff. Okay, so that one's a dud. The axes might be relevant, though, so... You never know when you want to make a Godfrey connection. I think it's also at some Mesmer places. Yeah, I don't remember that either, so... Again, that's why I'm going to these forts and stuff. You mentioned Gatefront Ruins, though, so just to confirm I'm not crazy. Because Gatefront makes sense to me, because one of the first forts you see with them putting, like, a lot of effort into it for players, since, you know, it's going to give them their first impression of the game. I remember they really decked it out as, like, a little informal encampment. No, they have the cross. Oh, wait, but this one does have the swords on top of it. So that's something. It's not the same setup, though, and that's what's important. The setup is different. It doesn't have the blacksmith stuff. No anvil. The top of the game is what I meant? Yeah, I'll go up there, too. Don't worry. What are your thoughts on Nameless King Senpai even being a Night Rain trailer? They couldn't use a lot of the Elden Ring bosses that were directly pertinent to story spoilers and stuff. So the director asked Miyazaki and Tanimura if he could please use their Dark Souls 1 and 2 and 3 bosses, so that way he could fill out the roster so they could make the deadline, and they said sure. That's what I think about them being in the trailer. No idea about anvils. Good to know. Oh no, wait, I don't need to go this far. I can just turn back here. No, it's the same thing we see at Gatefront. Yeah, okay. So not the same asset. You also said in front of Caelid, right? Interesting. How do you feel about them throwing in bosses like that? I think it's a sellout move. And they know it, because they know the brand risks, because it's the first thing they try to get out of the way as soon as they start their interviews with the announcement of Night Rain. Like, oh no, it's like a parallel world, you know, it's totally universe, this is like a completely separate thing, it has nothing to do with the continuities of the two individual games, like, da 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 da. Like, they're doing everything in their way to cushion it so people kind of understand, like, you know, they're trying to save face. Because they all know how stupid this looks, and how risky it is for both the Elden Ring and the Dark Souls brands. Just kind of conflate them like this for such a, you know, non-narratively driven reason. Right? So I think them knowing that, they're trying to hope that we all just kind of ignore it, you know? We kind of just be like, hey, look, just accept it for the game and move on. And you know what? I'm willing to take that. Doesn't change the fact that I think it is, you know, very shameless cash grabby of them. I thought you could get up here through the side, but I guess you can only do it through the back. Are you Loki of Abyssal Archive frame? That I am, Alex Smith. Welcome to the chat. This is he. To be honest, I did not know I had fame. Nope. What about this? No, this is the same thing I talked about earlier. I mean, it's similar. You got the, I think they got, like, they took some of the table assets the same. But no, they still don't got the anvil and stuff. Yeah, it's looking more and more like a unique asset. If it's just that fort, then that could have been attributed to them worshipping the Flame of the Giants and starting to incorporate smithing arts into their religion. Yeah, that could be. That would be an interesting angle. Another thought I had is it could be because it was used. It seems to be that the castle was built by the banished knights of Castle Sol for the purposes of giving how do I put this? For the purposes of giving the Godfrey army a base of operations from which to work, so they had like the smithing and stuff. Because don't forget, they used local smithing stone for the weapons, if I recall. Where is it? Yeah, thought to have been used to hone the weapons of the champions of the war against the giants at the birth of their tree. So I'm thinking it might be that. I'm thinking it's literally trying to showcase how they had Castle Sol build their castle and then smith their weapons for them while they were fighting the giants. I think it's not necessarily a sellout, but maybe I have too much faith. I just think this was made for funsies. Oh no, I agree with you. I'm saying that though because that's what the that's obviously what From Software is worried about. They know how it looks. As far as I'm concerned, I think that may as well. Like, let's be honest. They're doing this for money at the end of the day, right? There wasn't this big narrative need for this. They're like, okay, can we get, like... a quick, can we crank out an Elden Ring title within the next year to help tide us over for our next big project that might be coming, you know, until the end of the year or, you know, next year or something like that. That was the calculation. And that's why I'm saying, yeah, cut us out. They're like, oh, you know, we'll just do, you know, one of our guys has an experimental idea. He wants to do, like, a roguelike with the Elden Ring thing. He worked on the combat for a bunch of the games, right? So, what, you want new directors, Miyazaki, so why don't you let him go wild now that the DLC's on its way done? And he's like, yeah, sure. Right? There should be an Elden Ring show. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. I'm like, I get it. I get it. We're going to milk this IP dry, right? Like they did with Dark Souls, right? But I was expecting that we were going to go like the TV show route or the movie route or maybe like some crazy, you know, comic line announcement or something major, like a Dark Horse, you know, I don't know, deal or whatever. I was not expecting this. This was not on my bingo card. You do now, fella? Well, I'm glad to know. I have fame, huh? Elden Ring secret level episode? Not necessarily like a secret level. I was thinking more like, you know, expanding on the world, right, in the history. I was thinking they would maybe do something like that. They're kind of doing that with this Night Rain thing, but it's going to be very ancillary stuff. I expect it to kind of be like a, I would say an epilogue, but like a, I guess a data book would be the best point, right? Where you might have extra trivia and stuff about the base games and things that Night Rain is gonna tell us a lot about. But I don't think I don't know if it's gonna actually give us like a super huge, large, major lore expansion or anything. I think it might focus a lot on its own thing and then give us bits and tidbits of other stuff. Yeah, I'm not seeing this here. Oh, what about under here? I remember there being a lot of crap here. No. I read they've just confirmed connection between Elden Ring and Dark Souls and Bloodborne. They've already, like I said, they've already gone out of their way to try to like poo-poo the fact that they're doing this. To talk about how it's like, you know, separate continuity, universe, whatever. So I think everyone needs to just think of this the same way that Nintendo does like Super Smash Brothers. You get all the Nintendo IPs thrown together. Everyone knows that there's probably no deep lore reason for why all these universes are all being shared with these characters or whatever. You know, it's just, this is all like, you know, the entire premise of Smash Bros. Is just an excuse so you can have all these characters in a fighting game together. Right? Like, it's all about working backwards from the gameplay premise, not about, you know, the gameplay or the premise being driven by some deep lore reason. I'm not, like, I don't think we're gonna get that much beyond, oh, you know, the Night Lord is dragging in, you know, not just our world, but other worlds, and they're all gonna be destroyed or whatever. And then this will never be referenced or talked about again outside of maybe its own Night Rain continuity. Or some other spin-off continuity. Where they're inevitably gonna also need more of the Dark Souls and Bloodborne bosses or something. I hope they just, I'm just excited for Archthrones to come out. That's really something to look forward to. Yeah, I hope Archthrones are a really good mod for people, right? Like, I've never really been much into the Dark Souls modding stuff, but I know for, like, I know some of the people at Archthrones. I've seen a lot of the effort that they put into it behind the scenes, and I'm really rooting for them. I want this project to be, you know, I know there's stuff like something I'm personally looking forward to is, like, Skyblivion, right? For mods and things. Because I would really love to re-experience Oblivion, but like in a remaster / pseudo-remake format. And that's what Skyblivion is for me. I hope for a lot of people that's what Archstone's going to be, where it feels like they're going to completely re-experience like a Dark Souls sequel that they never got. Hey, Banana Senpai! Do you get pics of Dragon Bomb? No, I don't think I have any pics of her. One of these days, maybe. I'm trying to see if there's anything in this environment that I missed, but no, I think we should go back to our forward exploration. Yeah, no. Yeah, I think how I got on my map for the pine trees, too, were pretty on point. Alright, so that's covered. That's covered. There's no forts here. I don't think Caria Manor has any. There's that area below the church. Yeah, I'll check there. I was surprised the secret level shows had Armored Core instead of Elden Ring. Not that I'm necessarily disappointed there isn't any connections as far as I know. I mean, I think with the way the reception for Armored Core 6 has gone, I feel like the Armored Core franchise has a lot of potential right now. Like, I hope From Software is going to strike while the iron is hot in order to really build on their Armored Core fan base. Like, honestly, I'm surprised, like, Armored Core isn't the one that gets the roguelike, you know? You feel like that would be the one that if you create a roguelike mode with Armored Core where you get different, like, you know, pieces and stuff for you to customize your mech and things, that would have been an interesting angle for them to take, you know? And they probably could have come up with a better lore reason, especially considering Armored Core 6's world has the weird thing with the coral. You know? I think you could have come up with some bullshit excuse for why there's a roguelike mode that's like, you know, has like, you know, lore behind it. But like, I don't know. We're at where we're at with Night Rain instead, so as long as Armored Core 6's next spin-off or the sequel or whatever, as long as it's good. That's all I hope. Yeah, I'm not seeing any of that. It's all the normal stuff. Okay. That would work really well, but I guess they preferred the Elden Ring mechanics? I guess. Let's do Shaded Castle. I know we went through Shaded Castle before, but I don't remember seeing this stuff. Why can't I use an Armored Core mech in Elden Ring? Honestly, after Night Raid, I say you should. Just let me have my, my AC mech just running through the lands between in, like, 0.5 seconds, because it's so damn big. Screw it, connect Dark Souls to Star Wars, to Halo, to Doom. Honestly? Why not? That's what I say. Night Rain, you know what? If we're gonna do this, why not? Why be concerned about your IPs at this point? I'm not seeing it. I don't think it's gonna be up here either. It's only the same size as Radon, funnily enough. Really? I thought it'd be bigger. I guess that just tells you how big Radon is, huh? Why do you do Souls-like lore videos? I'm sure the response would be very positive, because that's a lot of work. Like, I believe me, I have tried. I have scripts for it. I've worked on it. I've done some video. Like, a lot of it. Oh, there's that. So we do have that. So we have the axe and things. The problem is that it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do that scripting content. It's a lot of work to do the editing. It's a lot of work to get the footage and stuff. Though, honestly, not that much work, because we could just, you know, record the footage I'm doing here. But, like, now that I'm getting a new PC, I'm hoping I'm gonna make another push for it, because I think I'll be able to, you know, I'll have good frame rates, good graphics, right? I could just run around while getting recordings of this footage, and probably have a spare drive I'll use for that stuff. And not have to worry about it, right? But, like, it's just a lot. And I'm doing all that, plus all the stuff I do with my website, which already eats up, like, all of my free time. So it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I can't do it without killing myself. Books are very time and labor intensive. Hey, Bloodborne content coming soon? I've been thinking about working on getting Chalice dungeons as like a general analysis done. Because I have like Iz and Loran and stuff as like incomplete outlines and things. And there's just... It's so awkward for me, especially with Iz, to have to, like, explain the Chalice dungeons before. And again, all of this was actually done for Blood's Beginning, before my hard drive crashed, and that masterpiece got lost with it. Literally the day I was gonna do the backup, too. I will never get over that. That is like, oh, Lord of mercy. The Lord really wanted to stick it to me there for not doing more frequent backups, clearly. I'll have to check out the website. Yeah, check the link in my description. It's right there. Just check the link right below there. You know, just for below this little video thing. Can't miss it. And you'll have all of my content beyond Abyssal Archive, or, well, I guess technically Demonic Archive content is there, but you guys know what I mean. You said you were also considering an editor, right? Yes, I have heavily considered investing in an editor. Now, I've since backed off on that because you know, between my PC upgrade and some other things, I'm like, can I afford to hire an editor, right? Like, is that because, you know, that could be like pissing money down the drain for nothing, right? Like, this is gonna work, I'm not gonna be able to come out with content and stuff like that, right? Like, just monetizing with YouTube would be... Well, one, let's be honest, chat. These streams are not going to be YouTube friendly. They are... I'm going to get demonetized so much. Just me being me. It's just going to happen. And I know that anything I do with my live streams is going to hurt the channel overall, right? So, it's going to be even harder for me to get traction on YouTube. It's like, it's one of those things where it's like, damn, I don't even know if I could break even if I wanted to. But I'm also a stubborn ass, so... I don't want to have to, like, compromise myself too much, you know, for the biz. For the moolah. You know, I don't want to have to sell out too, you know. That'd be great. I could tell you I'd be very much there for. Well, I'm glad to hear that, you know. And I've talked about you guys, like, even publishing books under Loki, you know, some fiction stuff of my own and things like that. So I've been considering that as well lately, you know. It's just, like I said earlier, like, some personal stuff has, I'm getting back to normal, but it's tiring right now. It's really tiring. I'm trying to keep everything else up while, so that way it doesn't affect you guys, but it's a little bit of a toll on me lately. Alright. I'm not finding this thing. Let's move on. Fort Lyde, you're next. We appreciate someone who says some business better than being yourself. Well, again, you know, I don't blame content creators and stuff who try to work the algorithm and stuff, you know, especially if that's something where they want to make a lot of livelihood and thing, right? So I'm not going to fault anybody. But just for me, I don't know. My brand as Loki for so long has just been authentic me, take it or leave it, right? I just don't know if you know, I could really change that at this point. I feel like you guys just wouldn't like that. You guys would feel like I'm just kind of, you know, even if it sounds, you know, still natural and still sounds like me, I feel like you guys would feel like I was forcing it. I would hate for people to get that impression. What's your favorite FromSoft boss? Ooh. Oh, that's a spicy one. I don't know. For now, like, comes to mind, I think, like, Nameless King, Soul Ascender, from, like, a gameplay perspective, Gale, I actually really like Nito, from, like, a design and thematic perspective, but the boss fight itself is kind of simple. Nothing here, so I'm moving on. Alright, that's done, that's done, that's done, that's done. Okay, yeah, I think it's just this. I think I could choose because there's a lot I have fun. Yeah, like Sullivan's a good one for me. You know, Dancer I think might be overall my favorite boss. I think overall I would have to choose Dancer. Because I just love everything about that fight. The design, the music, the fight itself. The way the fight plays out in not just mechanically, but also visually, right? When you start off with Dancer, how she comes in. Like, I think overall, like, just everything about that fight comes together so well. I'm really having a tough time thinking of one that I enjoy more than that one. You said you like the Elden Ring final boss compared to other final bosses. Yes, I do like Radagon and Elden Beast, specifically Elden Beast with the Torrent patch. It's a little glitchy when, like, the star thing happens, right? I wish they would patch that so that would be a little less glitchy, right? That worked a little better. But just being able to ride Torrent during that boss, it just feels so natural. It just feels, like, right. It's just such a nice transition, right? Where, like, the first part of the fight is just, like, it's you mano-a-mano with Radagon, but then it expands into this larger fight, and it's, like, you and your horse, like, having to deal with this, you know, eldritch monstrosity, right? Like, there's something I really do enjoy about that. But yeah, so these, this little setup they got going here with the smithing hammers and the anvils. That's 100%. That's 100% unique. I think I might have shots of this, but just in case. It's glitchy because they speed up everything, increase the homing when you're on the horse. Oh, really? Is that how it happens? Is the homing actually a lot slower with the, when you're not on the horse? Interesting. Get out of the way, buddy. Listen, bub. Yeah, that's what I thought. There we go. Is that the DS3 hammer? You mean the Andre hammer? Yes. Pretty sure it's the same model. Or something very similar to it. I like how you can fight Dancer early. Yeah. Again, I like a lot of things about Dark Souls 3, but I think Dancer would definitely be my favorite boss fight of that game, and probably of all the FromSoft titles under Miyazaki as well. We don't count the ones not under Miyazaki, because, well, you know, DS2 is on that list. That's very funny. Why? I mean, Dark Souls 3 asset rip is so common in this game, Xavier. That's nothing new. But yeah, like, I like Soul of Cinder as a boss overall. More so, I think, the concept than the execution. Like, the boss fight itself is like, fine. I'm like, I don't think it's awful or anything. It does feel, like, slightly undertuned, though. I would have liked it to be a little, like, just, not too much, but, like, just a tinge bit stronger. I don't know if that means hitting harder or something, or maybe he's, like, a little bit faster, or, you know, less forgiving. I'd have to think about that one. But I just feel like there's just a little bit more that could have been done with Soul of Cinder. Gwyn, we all know Gwyn. And then, in Bloodborne, I like Gehrman. I think Gehrman's the same problem. He always feels undertuned to me. And, Moon Presence is just a joke. Moon Presence is the story fight. Would Dark Souls 3 be your favorite Dark Souls game? No, that'd probably be one. I believe me, I love Dark Souls 3. I sometimes even like to say that I think I love Dark Souls 3 more than it deserves. But the problem with Dark Souls 3 is that, like, Dark Souls 3 stands on Dark Souls 1's shoulders. Narratively speaking. So, like, a lot of the things I love about Dark Souls 3 are a direct extension of like, Miyazaki building upon Dark Souls 1, and to a lesser extent, Dark Souls 2. So I cannot give Dark Souls 3 the crown. I just cannot do that in good faith. I would have to probably pick Dark Souls 1. But damn if Bloodborne's not a goddamn close second. Like, oh man, I love Bloodborne. I would even say for, like, lore stuff, strictly speaking, just like, God, Bloodborne just feels good. I think it's second to Demon Souls in terms of atmosphere, probably, now that I think about it. Like, Bloodborne just, I don't know, it just feels good to be part of the hunt. I know, the concept art of Cinder made it look more like Gwyn, which I thought was cool. I think what amazes me about the Soul of Cinder as a boss fight is just how, like, conceptually, like, it's one of those things that I just feel makes so much sense, even though I know it probably wasn't the original idea when they were going into developing the game, like, oh, this was gonna be the final boss, but it just works so well. I just love it. I just love that the second phase is Gwyn. I just love that's how you, like, you're you know, you're capping off the franchise. It's so beautiful. Alright, gonna give you your daily parasitic inspection, Mr. Lobster, Prawn, Shrimp, whatever you want to get called. I don't know. You're just a filthy, stinking crustacean sniper to me. Too true. I'm heavily biased toward Bloodborne because of the vibe. Just love the concept of execution. Yeah, that's another really good one where I like it when Miyazaki does sequels because I think he's really thoughtful about them. But I think that's why a lot of people feel like Miyazaki's more in his element with original IPs. Because whenever he comes out with a new IP, it somehow feels inspired despite him just recycling his same ideas he's had for like 20 years. Like, it's truly amazing how this man is able to squeeze out stuff from his, like, same seed that he had planted in his head for who knows how long. Yep, and I'm seeing nothing else here that really stands out. It's just the graveyards and stuff. There's nothing special here. Okay. And I'm pretty sure these ruins don't have anything, from what I recall. I actually was open for a little bit, chat, of potentially considering a different history from what I've already written for the Stargazer's Village, which would allow it to exist, basically, up until Castle Sol gets collapsed, right? And mostly it's because of Zamor. Like, I'm willing to believe, like, some of the BK stuff is actually from more recent conflict with Morgott. And, like, that's how the Zamor ruins got destroyed, right? Because, like, the problem is I have trouble justifying why Morgott decides, okay, Zamor has to get destroyed. Just because, you know, they're trying to push through, like, because of the crossfire. Like, that just doesn't square with me. I feel like if the idea is like we have all these weapons and stuff being left from there, why don't we have defenses and stuff too, right? If that was the idea, why is it just the destroyed village? So I'm backing off of that idea. I was trying to see if there was some alternate analysis of something I missed or whatever, but it's just not working. What's the origin of your name, Loki? Just curious. Low key, you know. I like being low key. So that was the other idea, and also because I'm a bit of I'm a little bit of a prankster, a jokester, a trollster. So I also thought Loki was appropriate, just for the sound of it. Oh, well, now you know it's a Loki stream. It's confirmed it. Only I would fall to my death in hilarious fashion. But yeah, that's it. I'm sure you've heard him say that Elden Ring is close to what he thinks is his ideal game. In your opinion, what do you think is the formula would be missing? Think about everything that Miyazaki has come out with these games and what he's been achieving. I feel like he would want a game which perfectly merges its gameplay with its narrative in such a way that there are zero contradictions and no need for suspension of disbelief, right? So like I think in Miyazaki's ideal game, he might want to somehow make the health bar into something informed by the story. That the menu would somehow be informed by the story. That the different poise meters and stats, right? Like, these have a bit more story relevance and stuff. But, like, even maybe more so and stuff, down to maybe, like, number differences or things. I feel like for Miyazaki, he would want to... it's very clear that with Miyazaki, a lot of his games have disconnects. I think it's part of the reason why he was so big on having a day-night cycle happen in Elden Ring. Even though day-night cycle in Elden Ring is kind of, like, whatever, right? Like, it exists, but it's not, like... it doesn't add that much, right? Despite, like, Miyazaki really wanting to have it in these games for the longest time and always having to settle for something less in each and every time. I feel like it's one of those things where he would want it where, yes, you have the natural day-night cycle and all these things with the guards and the enemies and the monsters and stuff, that's constantly changing, right? And it happens in live time, right? So it's not that you have to reset or anything in order to make things spawn because at night or whatever, right? Like, I think stuff like that, or say, how like where you hit a boss becomes like, you know how like sometimes there's like the critical spots, right? You have to hit this enemy in that one specific spot, and that creates a critical hit or whatever. I feel like for him, he'd want to have like probably more value to be able to place on where an enemy gets hit and how it all plays out and stuff like that. You know, like I hit the toe and that breaks the toe, right? Kind of like what you have with Bloodborne and broken limbs and things like that. I think all of that sort of tied together, I think that is like sort of building into what Miyazaki sees as his ideal game, because it just makes it where you could get lost in the world, where the world is the game and the game is the world, right? I think that's where, if the technology ever allows Miyazaki to do something like that, or he comes up with a unique enough premise for something like that, I think that's when you'll hear him say that he's created his perfect ideal game. He thinks he's peaked. He'll never be able to go anywhere like that again. Now, am I right? I have no idea. I guess we'll see if it happens or not, but that's where I feel like Miyazaki would finally be 100% satisfied. So we have day-night cycles. Have you ever checked the movements of the sun from Legacy Dungeon? It arcs from northeast to northwest on the map, but almost orbits Horizon and Laydell. No, I'll be honest, I do not make a habit of just staring at the sun, you know? I like my eyeballs where they are at. That sounds like something he'd make, yeah. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I think that, like, when you get down to, like, the meat and potatoes of, like, what Miyazaki enjoys about gaming and stuff like that, I think it's that. And I think that's where he would draw the line on, like, perfection. You know, kind of like something like Undertale, where Undertale really incorporates a lot of its gameplay elements into its narrative, you know, right? I don't know if even Undertale, you could say, does it perfectly, right? But, you know, something more like that, where, like, almost everything feels like it's part of the story, as it were. I think Miyazaki would love to make one of those games, but I don't think he could do the same level of, unserious parody that you can see in, like, something like Undertale, right? Like, Miyazaki has a very specific brand of, what's the word? Like, serious humor, I'd say, right? Where it's kind of like something that's kind of funny, almost in spite of the fact that it's being taken so seriously. You know, like how he has, like, say, Siegmeyer and the Katarina Knights, you know, designed or something like that, right? I think he said he wants to make more esoteric stuff. I could see that. That sounds like something up his alley. I've said before, I'd be super interested in him doing, like, a Renaissance, I don't know, like a Renaissance, like, Salem witch mixed, you know, like, guns and swords, type of world, you know, like, you know, not like Victorian era Bloodborne, but not medieval Dark Souls, right? Somewhere in between. Kind of show, like, you know, kind of like how he took, Victoria era and then 20th century Lovecraft, and he put those together to create Bloodborne. I'd love him to see that, where, like, take the transitions between, like, you know, the, you know, post-Enlightenment and pre-Enlightenment stuff, and, like, try to merge them together into, like, that unique, time period. That'd be a cool fantasy world I'd love to see him create. Berserk adaptation. You know what? You're right. That's when Miyazaki say he'll make the perfect game. He's just waiting for the day he gets the rights to make a Berserk game. Like the Godskin nobles and playing themselves. Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it's one of those things where, like, it's almost like a British humor, you know? Which, granted, might be because of Miyazaki's influence with a lot of, you know, his sociology background, working with a lot of Western literature and stuff like that. I think that might influence his tastes in comedy too. At least when it comes to his narratives. Pause, Schwonk is cooking. Alright, so I got the stuff I wanted, chat, so I think we're gonna end things here. Like I said, it's gonna be a short stream. God, I love this stuff. Da, da, da. got that. Oh. Beast. I guess because the hawks? Or maybe wolves? Oh, that one's a little weird to me. Actually, aren't there a lot of spirits of like little small animals we see at Zamor too? Maybe it's that. I'd like to see a game with a bigger emphasis on spellcasting because it would be cool to see more evolution experimentation in the design of that era. I'll be honest, I just want them to get around us, like, it feels as a sorcerer that I'm always going to default to, like, 2 or 3 spells, because if I try to use more, I definitely have to cycle through the sorcery wheel, and that's just such a pain in the ass. I'd love it if they can find a way to make it's somehow still, like, simple and straightforward, but not cumbersome. Because Monster Hunter had a similar thing going for a while, but they figured it out with World and Wild. And I don't know if I'd say Monster Hunter does it perfectly, per se, but I feel like Miyazaki could take a page out of that book and work on that, so that way, you know, quick selecting spells and things on the fly is more of a thing. And it becomes a bit more in-depth than just me going, oh, Soul Arrow, 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 okay, it's dead. Maybe I'll throw an Ikarian Slicer in order to get that extra little chip damage in. But granted, you could argue it's the same thing with their melee. Melee feels like it always ends up getting reduced to R1, 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 maybe throw in the odd R2. And Elden Ring only really changed that by adding a jump R2 to the mix. How often do you stream? I try to stream as many days as I can, you know? Because these streams are also technically my breaks. Apparently, the 200 Great Katana moveset is similar to Monster Hunter Longsword. Oh, really? I'm gonna have to see that for myself. Thanks for the stream, Skeleton. No problem, guys. Again, I try not to stream this late, guys, but like I said, it's been a tiring day. So, you know, if I didn't do it now, I wasn't gonna do it today, and I didn't want to not do it today, especially when I had those questions lingering on my mind. So we got that done. I'm happy about that. Anyway. Oh, see you guys later. Again, for those curious, check the link in the description. You can find my website, find all my content there, yada, yada, yada. You know, I explain it there in the site itself. So, see you later. Bye-bye.